Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
The physical object that is the product of a newspaper publisher. When it began to rain, he covered his head with a newspaper. Cheap paper made from wood pulp and used for printing newspapers. They used bales of newspaper every day. A daily or weekly publication on folded sheets contains news and articles and advertisements. He read his newspaper at breakfast. A business firm that publishes newspapers. Murdoch owns many newspapers. The physical object that is the product of a newspaper publisher. When it began to rain, he covered his head with a newspaper. An essay, especially one written as an assignment. A daily or weekly publication on folded sheets contains news and articles and advertisements. He read his newspaper at breakfast. Cover with wallpaper. A business firm that publishes newspapers. Murdoch owns many newspapers. A material made of cellulose pulp derived mainly from wood or rags or certain grasses. A medium for written communication. The notion of an office running without paper is absurd. A scholarly article describing the results of observations or stating hypotheses. He has written many scientific papers. Cover with paper. Paper the box. Cheap paper made from wood pulp and used for printing newspapers. The proprietor of a newspaper. A business firm that publishes newspapers. An artifact that has been created by someone or some process. They export most of their agricultural production. The quantity of something, as a commodity, that is created, usually within a given period of time. Production was up in the second quarter. A display that is exaggerated or unduly complicated. She tends to make a big production out of nothing. A presentation for the stage or screen or radio or television. Have you seen the new production of Hamlet? Economics, manufacturing or mining or growing something, usually in large quantities, for sale. He introduced more efficient methods of production. Law, the act of exhibiting in a court of law. The appellate court demanded the production of all documents. The act or process of producing something. Shakespeare's production of poetry was enormous. The creation of value or wealth by producing goods and services. The set of elements common to two or more sets. An artifact that has been created by someone or some process. They improve their product every year. Commodities offered for sale. That store offers a variety of products. A quantity obtained by multiplication. The product of 2 and 3 is 6. A chemical substance formed as a result of a chemical reaction. A product of lime and nitric acid. A consequence of someone's efforts or of a particular set of circumstances. Skill is the product of hours of practice. A dense crowd of people. To be oppressive or burdensome. Something pressed on his mind. The print media responsible for gathering and publishing news in the form of newspapers or magazines. The act of pressing, the exertion of pressure. He gave the button a press. Make strenuous pushing movements during birth to expel the baby. The state of demanding notice or attention. The press of business matters. A tall piece of furniture that provides storage space for clothes, has a door and rails or hooks for hanging clothes. A machine used for printing. Lift weights. This guy can press 300 pounds. Force or impel in an indicated direction. Squeeze or press together. She compressed her lips. A weight lift in which the barbell is lifted to shoulder height and then smoothly lifted overhead. Press and smooth with a heated iron. Press your shirts. Exert oneself continuously, vigorously, or obtrusively to gain an end or engage in a crusade for a certain cause or person. Be an advocate for. Press from a plastic. Press a record. Any machine that exerts pressure to form or shape or cut materials or extract liquids or compress solids. Ask for or request earnestly. Be urgent. This is a pressing problem. Clamp to prevent wooden rackets from warping when not in use. Create by pressing. Crowd closely. The crowds pressed along the street. Exert pressure or force to or upon. He pressed down on the boards. Place between two surfaces and apply weight or pressure. Pressed flowers. The print media responsible for gathering and publishing news in the form of newspapers or magazines. A firm in the publishing business. 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 The proprietor of a newspaper. A person engaged in publishing periodicals or books or music. Of or belonging to or occurring every day. Daily routine. Gradually and progressively. Appropriate for ordinary or routine occasions. A newspaper that is published every day. Every day, without missing a day. He stops by daily. A newspaper written and published by students in a school. Sensationalist journalism. Newspaper with half-size pages. Paper used for writing or printing. A large piece of fabric, usually canvas fabric, by means of which wind is used to propel a sailing vessel. Bed linen consisting of a large rectangular piece of cotton or linen cloth, used in pairs. Nautical. A line, rope or chain, that regulates the angle at which a sail is set in relation to the wind. A flat artifact that is thin relative to its length and width. Mathematics. An unbounded two-dimensional shape. Newspaper with half-size pages. Any broad thin expanse or surface. A sheet of ice. Come down as if in sheets. The rain was sheeting down during the monsoon. Cover with a sheet, as if by wrapping. Sheet the body. A newspaper written and published by students in a school. Treat cruelly. A week at British universities during which side shows and processions of floats are organized to raise money for charities. Censure severely or angrily. The deputy ragged the prime minister. Harass with persistent criticism or carping. Newspaper with half-size pages. Music with a syncopated melody, usually for the piano. A small piece of cloth or paper. Cause annoyance in. Disturb, especially by minor irritations. A boisterous practical joke, especially by college students. Break into lumps before sorting. Rag or. Play in ragtime. Rag that old tune. A newspaper or official journal. Publish in a gazette. The heading or caption of a newspaper article. Using photography to produce a plate for printing. Printed material, text and pictures, produced by an intaglio printing process in a rotary press. Printing by transferring an image from a photogravure plate to a cylinder in a rotary press. A sequence of drawings telling a story in a newspaper or comic book. An article giving opinions or perspectives. Anything that approximates the shape of a column or tower. The test tube held a column of white powder. A vertical cylindrical structure standing alone and not supporting anything, such as a monument. A vertical glass tube used in column chromatography. A mixture is poured in the top and washed through a stationary substance where components of the mixture are adsorbed selectively to form colored bands. Architecture. A tall vertical cylindrical structure standing upright and used to support a structure. A line of units following one after another. Any tubular or pillar-like supporting structure in the body. A page or text that is vertically divided. The newspaper devoted several columns to the subject. A vertical array of numbers or other information. He added a column of numbers. A sequence of drawings telling a story in a newspaper or comic book. An article giving opinions or perspectives. Of or relating to an article stating opinions or giving perspectives. Editorial column. Relating to or characteristic of an editor. Editorial duties. A prominent attribute or aspect of something. The map showed roads and other features. The principal, full-length film in a program at a movie theater. The feature tonight is Casablanca. Linguistics. A distinctive characteristic of a linguistic unit that serves to distinguish it from other units of the same kind. Have as a feature. This restaurant features the most famous chefs in France. A special or prominent article in a newspaper or magazine. They ran a feature on retirement planning. Wear or display in an ostentatious or proud manner. The characteristic parts of a person's face, eyes and nose and mouth and chin. An expression of pleasure crossed his features. An article of merchandise that is displayed or advertised more than other articles. A special or prominent article in a newspaper or magazine. A sequence of drawings telling a story in a newspaper or comic book. The heading or caption of a newspaper article. Provide, a newspaper page or a story, with a headline. Publicize widely or highly, as if with a headline. An article reporting news. An item in a newspaper.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.